Good now. It is time to meditate. For those joining for the first time, welcome. For those of you returning, welcome back. As always, I am thrilled, honored, and grateful that you have chosen to spend your precious time and this very sacred self care moment with me, and you've allowed me to spend mine with you. For those joining for the first time, I like to read a card before we hop into meditation. We are continuing to make our way through the Life Loves You card deck by Miss Louise Hay herself. So let's see what card wants to be brought into our awareness this now moment. You can use the card. Good now, Pamela. So good to see you, love. Good now, Larry. So good to see you. Um, you can use the card as a prompt for your meditation. You can use it as a prompt for journaling. You can ignore it. Whatever works for you works for me. Good now, Kismet. So good to see you, love. All right, what's gonna pop through today? I feel like it's gonna be this one. I see myself through the eyes of love. I see myself through the eyes of love. The back reads, look in the mirror and say, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. Keep saying it until you really feel it. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. Keep saying it until you really feel it. Look in the mirror. I see myself through the eyes of love. What comes to mind for this particular one in this moment? A couple of things, but the one that stood out the most is if anyone has ever gone through the positive intelligence quotient program, either as a coach or as a client, one of the exercises that we do is we're supposed to get a picture of ourselves before the age of like 7, if we can find one, and just look at that picture and at the innocence of who you are in that picture. And for those not on YouTube, Larry's like, before we begin, can we find out who called me out on Insight Timer last night? Yeah, who was that? um, Speaking of Insight Timer last night, and then I'll get back to my point. Last night was my first live on Insight Timer. I'm not gonna lie, I was very nervous, and so that was the other thing that reminds me, that came to mind for this card too. But it was my first live, and I'm thrilled at how it turned out. I love it, Kismet. Oh my goodness. It was a good time. I appreciate the fact that Kismet popped in there, Larry popped in there. 100 people showed up, which is insane, and appreciate it. I felt the love for sure. Um, I definitely, one of the I love it. One of the tips that I shared was about not overthinking. And I absolutely had to use that tip last night because, of course, with it being my first live, I was like critiquing. That makes sense, Jamila. I thought that, but I wasn't sure. And I didn't want to assume because that would have looked crazy if I called you Jamila and that wasn't you. Um, so, with it being my first live, I'm, of course, thinking about, oh, meant to say this, or I should have said this, and not should and as in a I messed up way, but should as in giving more value to the audience type thing. And I was like, okay, I need to get this all out so that I can take my butt to sleep. But it was a good time, and I do have another live this Sunday. Is a follow on. It's the part 2 of a 3-part series. So yesterday was part 1, Sunday's part 2. I might get another live in on either Thursday or Friday this week. So just stay posted. I will put it in the description as well. But thank you all so much for your support. I am so, so grateful beyond words. I I was like, once it ended, I was like, felt tears. Just, it was just great. I am very grateful. Thank you. So the card, so part of, with respect to last night or in relation to last night, I see myself through the eyes of love. Is just as I'm reflecting on what I did, um, reflect lovingly and just, uh, just like, where can I show up even better for people is kind of what came to mind with respect to last night and this card. But the very first thing and the strongest thing that came to mind with respect to this card is the exercise I was talking about with the PQ program and getting a picture of yourself before the age of 7, looking at the innocence, the true essence of who you are. And he talks about how that is who you are today. Of course, with potentially a lot of armor for self-protection through all the pains and hurts and traumas that we've been through. But if you can remember this version of you and just have it, it can be easier to give yourself some compassion and some love and seeing yourself through love's eyes. So that's what comes to mind strongly with respect to that card. And I love how you guys just have conversation in the chat. That is so dope. Pamela, meet Larry and Jamila. Pamela is also one of my OG folks. She had been hanging out with me since I was doing this at 5 a.m., way before the surgery. And she even popped up when I was traveling and I had to do, well, I didn't have to. I chose to do this at 4 because I still wanted to show up. So it was like 4 something in the morning and she popped on. I was like, stop playing. I was really appreciate that, Pamela. So thank you. So I just want to introduce all you all since you can't really see each other, but y'all do have a conversation in chat. Just say hello to each other. So awesome. Thank you. All right. Is it time to meditate? Oh, I know y'all been having y'all side conversation, but does anyone have any comments on on today's card? I love it. Thank you for showing each other the love. Before I shift on over to meditation, I'll go ahead and do my spiel while y'all contemplate and sharing. And let me find my phone. Okay. Okay, so meditation. I practice transcendental meditation. You can find out more about that in the description if you would like, if you're looking for a meditation practice that's easy to follow, consistent, so that like it's a lot of scientific studies around it. So there's documented kind of things that you can know that you're doing it right, for lack of a better word. Actually, that's a good topic to talk about on a live on Insight Timer. How do you know you're doing meditation right? But either way, no matter what form of meditation you practice, I am here to support you in your practice. And the best way I can do that, if you're not able to be here with me live, is for you to respond to the video after you've had a chance to meditate with me at whatever your now moment is. And as soon as I see that response, I will reply to let you know that I see you, I celebrate you, I thank you for showing up for yourself. I really, really, really I'm cheering you on to have a consistent practice because there's so many benefits on a physiological, physical, psychological, and emotional level. And so I just want you to keep going. So if words of affirmation is not necessarily what motivates you or helps you feel seen or loved, I'm sorry I can't hug you in person. This is the best way I can spend time with you, but this is the best way I can support from from a virtual perspective. It's just to let you know that I see you and I celebrate you. So please keep showing up to meditate, whether it be with me or not. Just keep doing it. Keep going in your practice. Kismet shares, no, I like the idea of getting a pic of little me. It's funny because the 8-year-old me is one I often feel I connect to. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. That's thank you for sharing. For those not on YouTube, that was Kismet here on YouTube. If you respond during the live on LinkedIn, I won't be able to see it till after the fact. So if you notice I'm not replying to you, that's why. Because that doesn't show up on screen. The way the systems connect, that doesn't allow that. So if you want to participate live, the best way to do it is through YouTube, because it's interactive, or even Facebook. But either way, thank you for joining. Whether I can see you or not, I'm just glad you're here, taking care of you for just 20 minutes a day. And except lately, I've been talking a lot more. It becomes 30 minutes. So with that said, I'm going to pull up the timer, literally Insight timer, and pull up the banner. Timer. Y'all notice this is on YouTube. This is what day is it? Not day of the week, but day 355. So we're almost at a year of doing meditation lives on YouTube. That's insane. I cannot believe how quickly a year can go by. All right, so got the timer. You don't have to worry about how long it's been or how much longer you have to go. You can just be present and relax deeply into your meditation. And on the other side of that 20 minutes, I will bring us out gently so that you can carry on with your day more beautifully and centered and whole. All right. With all that said, happy meditation. I will see you on the other side. It's been 20 minutes. Go ahead and keep your eyes closed for at least 2 minutes to allow your body to gently transition from the deep meditative state back to the state of activity or the waking state. You can do this simply by bringing your awareness and back into this now moment fully. Or you can have fun with it and wiggle your toes and shimmy your shoulders or rotating your neck. My favorite. Or any gentle movement that feels yummy to you and within your capability at this time. Put a smile on your face, taking a deep breath, as deep as you can. And exhale. And remember to see yourself with love through love's eyes today and always, but at least for sure today. And just, if it's not something you do regularly, try that on and see what that feels like. See how your day goes. See what you attract. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes. And good now, Nick. So good to see you. And for those not on YouTube, Larry has sent us a message or 5. I'm just kidding. There's an exercise through meditation where you think back to your youngest memory, seeing the youngest version of yourself. Then you envision your current self speaking to your child self. Yes, he sent me this video. Larry, if you have the link easily available, you're welcome to post that link there. And then he says, ultimately, telling them that you are there to protect them and pull them out of all the danger and harmful things they or you cannot comprehend at that age. It's an exercise in forgiving yourself as well as reclaiming your playful childlike state. And if you can truly see this, it can be one of the most powerful and liberating things ever. Just my experience. And Kismet says, thank you, Larry. I tried that and she ended up reassuring me more than the older me. We need each other. I love that. I love that. Yeah, it's powerful to do that, the child work. Because of course at a young age, you just can't comprehend, and depending on the way your brain is wired, some of the things that you go through as kids, you subscribe to, and it just kind of messes with your adult life. So that's a whole other conversation. But thank you, Larry, for sharing, and thank you, Kismet. I love that. I love that. Kids have a tendency to do that as well. I will say, and I'm not saying this is you, Kismet, but for some children, that is their trauma response, is taking care of the adult, because it's the only way they feel they can survive. Because if they don't take care of the adult, then they know that they won't be taken care of. So that's something that came to mind with just your share, Kismet. Not saying that's you again, but just in studying psychology and human behavior and neuroscience and all that stuff, that is one of the things too. Okay. Let me see. When you transcend, you don't experience. Okay. I was just seeing if the TM's comment was a quote today was in relation to anything we spoke about. Not particularly. All right, my loves. I really appreciate you taking the time and being here and meditating. Neek, today's card was I see myself through the eyes of love. I don't even know which lamp that is that's causing that, but anyway. And the back says, look in the mirror. I love that. Yeah, I believe that that's just, how there that can be a calling in and of itself. I'd be interested to see what your human design chart looks like. Um, the back says, look in the mirror and say, I love and accept myself exactly as I am, and keep saying it until you feel it. And I had brought up one of the lessons in the positive intelligence quotient program about looking at a picture of you as a child, and I'm just seeing how innocent you were and knowing that that is still you. So that's kind of one of the things that came through. And then Larry shared his thing, and if you can scroll up and see what Kismet shared as well. So with all that said, I have kept you all for almost 40 minutes. I appreciate that you are still here. I am going to close out the session. Thank you so much for spending time with me. It is a beautiful place to be with you all, and I'm grateful, so grateful. So, with all of that said, may you create the most amazing now moments until I see you next time.